I'm Tom,
And I'm Kirsty.
and this is our resubmission for research methods. Within sport, research is divided up into two sections, qualitative and quantitative.
Within these two sections, there is another 4 areas of discussion: validity, reliability, accuracy, and precision.
Quantitative research is the form of using research in numbers and statistics.
It looks at the relationships among different variables and describes observations.
There are two types of quantitative data, numerical and string. Numerical quantitative data consists of statistics and numbers. For example, how many goals Cristiano Ronaldo has scored in a calendar year.
String data is the basic information of the athlete, like their age, their height, and their gender.
Quantitative data is used when needing information, comparing to world records, for example, such as Usain Bolt, who ran the 100-metre sprint in 9.58 seconds.
This is classed as quantitative research as it is using numbers and is a true representation of the event. Another example is when a coach may use this to assess their athletes throughout a season and looking at their blood pressure and their heart rate.
Qualitative research is opinion-based and it describes how people view things and why.
It is research that doesn't use numbers.
Qualitative research, opinion-based research, explains why things happened rather than looking into how.
Hypotheses can be developed using this research and can influence quantitative research as well. It looks deeper into the relationship between the results. A coach may use this type of research to assess fluctuations and differences of a performance level athlete. They can use interviews and observations of different games to view the change in behaviour and the way that they play.
Another example for this type of research is a performer's motivation during a big event, for example the Olympics. Thomas and Nelson state that validity is referring to the degree of which the test is measuring what it does intend to measure.
And Jones is similar to this and says that the method of measuring is measuring what you intend to. An example of an invalid test is the sit and reach, as it isn't assessing flexibility as a whole, it is assessing the flexibility of the lower back and the hamstrings.
And also comparing to clients, if a 5'5" client who's overweight does the test comparing to a 6'6" client who is lean, stereotypically the 6'6" client will have a better flexibility. However, due to the long legs, he may be further away from the sit and reach box, so this would show that the 5'5" man who is overweight would have a better flexibility, making the sit and reach test invalid.
External validity is concerned with the extent to which the results are applicable to non-experimental situations.
External validity is the confidence we have in the generalisability of findings across people, situations and times.
Internal validity is the clarity of the test and how well it meets the brief.
Only an independent variable, cause the dependent variable with the experimental setting.
Face validity in relation to sport is the appearance of the athlete and the observers that the test is actually measuring what it's supposed to.
An example of this is the 12-minute Cooper run.
This is measuring VO2 max and cardiovascular endurance, which means it's a valid test.
As it is intending to measure what it's supposed to. Reliability is concerned with the consistency of a test, survey, observation or other measuring devices.
This means that if someone else was to do your test, they would obtain the same results.
An example of this is when someone is weighing themselves during the day and getting different readings, for example a boxer.
There are two types of reliability, random and systematic. A random reliability error is a mistake that the assessor cannot control. For example, in sport, the performer making an out-of-character bad pass in netball. Or in sports science, the hand grip dynamometer being slightly out.
Systematic reliability issue is a recurring mistake that causes huge problems to the researcher. For example, the inconsistency of the athletes being assessed.
Accuracy is a qualitative term that describes how close the measurement is to the true value.
It's also looking at how close it is to the gold standards, which is the best test for that type of category. For example, before a fight, a boxer must be weighed. If the boxer weighs himself at home and weighs 100 kilograms, and however when he goes to the weigh-in he weighs 103 kilograms, the scales are therefore inaccurate.
To know something is accurate you use calibration, which is the refinement of the results you obtain. Precision is looking at the care and refinement of the measuring process and how repeatable the process actually is.
Is related to the refinement of the measuring process, and it's closely related to reliability.
An example of precision is an oxycon machine. This machine gives you the nearest to 0.001% of the reading of exhaled gas. This means it's very close to the true value in a very precise way of measuring. A spotting example of accuracy versus precision is in netball. Shooting from the red circle head on to the hoop, and the aim is the ball to go into the hoop without touching the rim. Low precision and low accuracy, which means that the ball is nowhere near the rim and not precise in the way that they shoot the ball. Low accuracy and high precision means that it is not accurate into the place it's supposed to go, so it's not going in the hoop, however it's going to the same point every time they shoot. High accuracy and low precision is getting the ball as close to the rim as possible but not actually going in, and high accuracy and high precision is getting the ball in.
Another sporting example is basketball. An example of low accuracy and low precision is when taking a free throw. Low accuracy and low precision, missing the backboard or hitting it in different spots and it not going into the intended target, which is a net. Low accuracy, high precision is when the ball hits different spots on the backboard but always consistently goes into the net. High accuracy, low precision is where the basketball hits the same point on the backboard but does not hit the intended target. And finally, for high accuracy and high precision, I feel, in my opinion, is best performed in the film Grown Ups. As you can see, it's hitting the top right corner of the backboard and landing into the intended target, which is the net. This is done multiple times. See there for a second time. And finally for the last one, it's done backwards. So that's the best example of high accuracy and high precision.
All four factors of research contribute to each other. For example, if a test is reliable, it is most likely to be precise because the results must be consistent.
Accuracy is closely linked to validity of a test. Accuracy is the gold standard, best meaning best, outcome, which will mean that the results are as close to the true value as possible, making them valid results. This is our assignment. Thank you for watching.